Hello, my dear beloved children. Today I want to talk to you about another common stereotype that you can easily track, which means that it can be attributed to the visible layers of the three-dimensional world in the human mind, or, in other words, to its rough layers. And it will be about your self-esteem. Although we have already said this more than once, now we will consider it not as a quality inherent in almost every person, but as a stereotype of thinking and behavior. The habit of evaluating everything and everything has already become an integral part of your life, so the assessment of yourself has not been an exception. How is it different from the assessment and judgment of other people and events? By and large, nothing. And this is explained by the fact that any of your judgments is always subjective, and it depends on many things. Your age, upbringing, worldview, religious views, general level of culture, all this affects your assessment of the events taking place and their participants. But since you yourself are also involved in this process, you evaluate yourself on an equal basis with others. As a result, your assessment is also subjective, as it is within the framework of your worldview. Of course, it can change depending on the circumstances and your environment, which undoubtedly affect you. And yet its main parameters remain unchanged, you and your role in everything that happens. And here a lot depends on your ego, which, as a rule, imposes one or another self-esteem on you. In people with a highly developed ego, self-esteem is usually overestimated. And those who have it more modest are underestimated. Almost none of the people is able to objectively assess themselves, because this can only be done when you are in the position of an outside observer, even in relation to yourself. And yet each of you is trying to do it. So why is self-esteem so important to a person? First of all, he needs it in order to assess his position in society and outline the boundaries of what is allowed. Remember the expression "know your place." It is this that gives rise to this stereotype, which is peculiar to almost every one of you. Only by determining your place do you feel relatively calm and protected. But many people have not been able to move from this place for years, and sometimes all their lives. And this happens because the person himself nailed himself to this place with his subjective underestimated or overestimated self-esteem. So what should be your thinking and behavior towards yourself? First of all, flexible, as well as objective as possible. And this can only be achieved when you learn to look at yourself from the outside. Become an attentive and loving observer of yourself. Do not scold yourself for mistakes that are inevitable in the three-dimensional world, but if you notice them, try not to repeat them again. And don't hesitate to praise yourself if something worked out well for you and for the benefit of others. But the best thing you can do is to get rid of your self-esteem, just enjoying life and always acting as your soul tells you. We will stop there today. The Father Absolute, who loved you immeasurably, spoke to you.